This is a jazz club run by teenagers in Nazi Germany. They played swing music in secret basements, dodging raids, arrests, and actual prison time just to keep the rhythm alive. But across history, musicians have been more than just performers. They've been scientists, priests, rebels, and sometimes outcasts with flutes. Today, we're exploring how musicians were treated across different cultures and centuries, from sacred harpists to outlawed lyres to castrated opera legends. Let's get right into it. In ancient Egypt, being a musician was surprisingly legit. They weren't just there to entertain. Musicians, especially women, were seen as spiritual mediums. Harpists played in temples. Flutists performed during religious rites. Some even held titles like Priestess of Hathor, Lady of Music. Translation: music was sacred. If you were good, pharaohs hired you. If you were really good, gods were allegedly listening in. Though, fun fact, most musicians were also servants. So it was divine until you spilled beer on the wrong noble. In Greece, music was a pillar of education. Philosophers like Plato treated it like nuclear energy, incredible power, best handled with rules and zero fun. Musicians were respected if they stuck to the right modes that aligned with the state's values. Play a Phrygian scale at a party? Cool. Improvise a dissonant banger in public? Suddenly you're corrupting the youth. In fact, some cities had literal laws banning certain instruments for being too wild. So yes, your lyre could get you exiled. The vibes were very controlled. Fast forward to the 8th to 13th centuries. In the Islamic Golden Age, musicians were more than entertainers. They were scientists. Scholars like Al-Farabi and Al-Kindi were laying the foundation for music theory and acoustics. They literally wrote equations for tuning systems while composing concert pieces. Being a musician wasn't a backup plan. It was a sign you were intelligent, cultured, and possibly building an early synthesizer. It wasn't just sound. It was science with soul. Also, many top musicians were polymaths who dabbled in astronomy and medicine. So yeah, your oud player could fix your broken string and your plague. Meanwhile, in medieval Europe, it was a roll of the dice. If you were a court musician, congrats. You got food, status, and maybe a weird outfit with bells. But if you were a wandering minstrel, no land, no pay, just songs, dirt, and the occasional punch in the face from a knight who didn't like your lute solo. In some towns, street musicians were seen as beggars or potential thieves. In others, they were so welcome they got tax exemptions. In short, one village feeds you wine, the next one stones you for singing too loud. Touring was complicated. In Edo, Japan, the rules were extremely specific. Court musicians were honored, especially gagaku performers. Shamisen players in kabuki theaters were borderline celebrities. But street musicians, often classified as burakumin, a legal outcast class. Some were so low on the social ladder they weren't allowed to walk in daylight. Imagine getting fined just for doing your sound check too publicly. Still, certain traveling musicians like the biwa hoshi, who were blind storytellers, gained deep respect. So again, if you played well enough, society sometimes looked the other way, or at least waited until you finished your solo. Now for something truly wild. 17th century Europe decided it wanted the perfect male singing voice. High-pitched, pure, eternal, and instead of letting women sing, they castrated boys. Thousands of them. The result? The castrati. Opera superstars with massive vocal range and massive trauma. These singers were adored, paid fortunes, and mobbed by fans. But they also lived weird, isolated lives, often mocked or fetishized, depending on the city. A few became legends. Most faded into strange, melancholy footnotes. Still better than open mic night, probably. In many West African cultures, especially among the Mande people, musicians weren't just performers, they were griots. Griots were walking archives and genealogists, historians, musicians, diplomats. They memorized centuries of oral history and passed it down through song. Insulting a griot was like punching Wikipedia in the face. Kings relied on them for diplomacy, rituals, and recording dynastic legacies. In some traditions, you couldn't even become a king without a griot confirming your lineage out loud. Modern rappers wish they had this kind of job security. Let's end on a dystopian note. Nazi Germany, where jazz was branded degenerate music. African-American roots, Jewish composers, American vibes, not ideal for fascism. Musicians playing jazz or swing-faced raids, bands, and arrest. Some went underground, forming secret clubs and using coded posters to spread events. The swing kids became a cultural resistance movement. Imagine risking your life to play a sax solo, and still getting booed if you missed the high note. So now I'm curious, if you had to pick one of these time periods to be a musician in, which one would you choose? Drop it in the comments. I'll be making similar videos. Subscribe to see them.